Hello everyone! So I've decided to start a new YouTube channel. Why? Because I'm bored all the time and I'm sitting around my house all the time and I kind of wanted some things that I could blog about. So I tend to walk around aimlessly in my house thinking about all these things that are happening in the gaming world or just in the world in general. And I always think to myself, I'd always want to broadcast these things to people. So here we go with my first YouTube channel that's specifically based on blogging. I've had various channels in the past, but this is going to be my first one that's exclusively to blogging and quite possibly video game reviews too. So I figured, since I'm going to be talking about topics that interest me, why not talk about one of my favorite video games of all time, which is the Resident Evil Remake on the GameCube. And Capcom is finally giving this game the HD treatment, and we're in the era where a lot of games from the previous generation have been, being redone in high definition, such as the God of War franchise, Shadow of the Colossus, Metal Gear Solid, etc. Even Resident Evil's own Code Veronica and Resident Evil 4 have gotten the HD treatment. So I always wondered, why hasn't Remake gotten the HD treatment? Well, people always thought it was because of the pre-rendered graphics, but now we're actually getting it, so this works for me. So with this enhanced remake, or should I say remaster, of the GameCube remake, we're going to be getting the obvious. We're going to be having high-resolution textures. Supposedly Capcom is rebuilding this game from the ground up, in the sense that they took apart the original game and are upgrading all the textures one by one. Not just the character models, but even the background environments. As you can see here, the wall textures look incredible, and this looks... I can't get over just how freaking amazing this looks. Look at this shot right here of Chris Redfield up against this laboratory wall. I mean, it's not as big of a leap as it was from the PlayStation to the GameCube, but this is just still amazing looking, and I myself cannot wait to see what all the monsters look like, such as the Crimson Heads, the Chimeras. The Hunters look sweet as shit, and I don't know, this is just going to be one hell of a release, and even if they don't really change much, I'm going to rebuy this game just so I can see it with the updated presentation. Now, on top of this, the enhanced visuals, there's not really any other extra features that I know about as of now, which is the only thing I can really complain about with this is that, as far as I can tell, you're just getting 5.1 digital surround sound, and then you're also getting a new control scheme, which is kind of like Resident Evil 2 was on the Nintendo 64, where it's more of a 3D control style, as opposed to the tank controls that we're usually used to. This kind of sort of disappoints me because I've been playing this game for so many years, and it'd be nice to get a new, harder difficulty, because since I've mastered this game, I'd like to get something that's nice, I guess you could say a nice challenge. For instance, they got Real Survival, they should make a mode called Impossible Survivor, or You Done Fucked, or something like that. That'd be a nice addition to this game, personally, I think. But alright, well, now I need to touch on what I feel is most important to talk about in this video, which is what this means to the franchise. Now, a lot of people haven't really been thinking about this, but this is sort of, in a way, Capcom's guinea pig. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by that, well, last year Capcom went on the record and said that survival horror games do not sell well in this day and age, specifically pure survival horror games. However, I say look at The Last of Us. That game sold incredibly well. It just got a remastered release on the PlayStation 3. In my opinion, that is proof that survival horror can be successful. And in my opinion, because, this is a pure survival horror Resident Evil game that's being released on all platforms, I personally think that if this game can sell well, which it probably will due to the fact that many YouTubers are saying that they're going to buy this game on all 5 platforms, and I myself am probably going to buy it on both the PC and the PlayStation 3. So, if this game sells well, this could mean great things for the franchise, because basically what I'm saying is, if this proves that survival horror can sell to Capcom, this could very well influence them to bring the series back to its roots, and I myself Resident Evil is my favorite franchise, and I would just love to see this series just thrown back into the medium, be the major survival horror franchise once again, because this franchise was just so damn good up until Resident Evil 4, and I loved Resident Evil 4, but once it got to Resident Evil 5, the series just isn't going downhill, and personally I think that this re-release is the key to bringing the series back to its former glory. On top of that, like, it's not really just that too. I mean, since this is a port of a remake, this could also influence Capcom to finally do a remake of Resident Evil 2, which we've all been requesting since the Resident Evil remake came out. I mean, come on, Capcom. You're talking about, like, profits and sales and all this stuff. I mean, do you realize, like, how much money you could make just from remaking Resident Evil 2? I mean, the groundwork is done for you. All you gotta do is, like, you know, build it from the ground up visually, use the same story, use the same gameplay mechanics, and that right there is a guaranteed 6 million sales, because all the people who played the original are probably going to buy the remake, and people who see previews of the game are going to be like, oh, that looks awesome, I played The Last of Us, maybe I should check out this Resident Evil 2 game. Like, that right there is just such an easy profit, and if Capcom would go ahead and do this, like remake Resident Evil 2, they could bring the franchise back. Heck, they might even be able to bring them out of bankruptcy. I mean, perhaps I'm being a little overboard with that, but I'm telling you, like, you guys get the idea. Like, if this game goes well and Capcom is able to bring back the Resident Evil series to their former glory, I will be one happy camper. I'm sure the rest of you guys will. Anyways, I kind of improvised this whole video. I'm not going to lie, so sorry if some parts sounded funny, but anyways, check back later, guys, because I'm going to be doing a lot of these video blogs, and I'm probably going to be doing reviews soon, most likely of really shitty games, because shitty games are more fun to talk about. Most likely older games, not quite like retro games, but probably like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox, N64, Super Nintendo, stuff like that. So check back on my channel. Hopefully I'll post some interesting stuff on here. Thank you, guys.